Hello dear students. So let us continue our discussion the coordination compounds. So let us discuss about the coordination number. So in a coordination compound, the central metal atom or ion will be surrounded by ligands. So each ligand will donate one pair of electrons to the central metal atom or ion. So coordination number is the total number of electron pairs donated by the ligands to the central metal atom or ion for the formation of coordination bonds. So that is called as the coordination number. So here in this example, that is the K4FeCN6. So in this complex compound, coordination compound, the central metal atom or ion, so that is Fe2 plus, is surrounded by 6 cyanide ligands. 6 cyanide ligands. Each cyanide ligand will donate one pair of electrons. So therefore, 6 ligands will donate 6 pairs of electron pairs to the iron. So therefore, the coordination number of iron in this complex is 6. So this 6 indicates the number of electron pairs donated by the ligands. So here the cyanide ligand will donate 6 pairs of electrons to the central metal atom. So therefore the coordination number of iron is 6. So in the second example, so the copper is the central metal ion, so which is surrounded by 4 ammonia ligands. So each ammonia ligand donate one pair of electrons to the copper. So there are 4 ammonia ligands. 4 ammonia ligands will donate 4 pairs of electrons to the copper. So therefore the coordination number of copper is 4. So in this example, cobalt. So cobalt, so this cobalt is a central metal atom or ion. So the ligands, so there are 2 ligands are present, ethylene diamine. So this ligand has 2 ligands, so that is twice, and chloride. So this ligand donates 4 electron pairs and this donates 2 electron pairs. So therefore totally 6 electron pairs will be donated to the cobalt. So therefore the coordination number of cobalt is 6. So in this example, nickel is the central metal atom or ion. So the ligand is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetato ion. So this EDTA contains 6 donor atoms. So this is an hexadentate ligand. So therefore hexadentate ligand donates 6 pairs of electrons to the nickel. So therefore the coordination number of nickel is 6. So in the next example, that is nickel tetracarbonyl. So the nickel is the central metal atom, that is Ni. So it is surrounded by 4 carbonyl ligands. Each carbonyl group donates one pair of electron. Therefore 4 carbonyl groups donate 4 pairs of electrons to the nickel. So therefore the coordination number of nickel in nickel tetracarbonyl is 4. So coordination number is nothing but the total number of electron pairs donated by the ligands to the central metal atom or ion for the formation of coordination bonds. This is called as the coordination number. So let us move on to the IUPAC nomenclature of the coordination compounds. Okay, so the IUPAC name of the coordination compounds can be obtained by certain set of rules. So as you can see, the first IUPAC rule for naming the coordination compounds is that for ionic coordination complexes, so the cation is named first and then followed by the anion. Okay, so the coordination complex, ionic coordination complexes, cation should be named first and then followed by anion. Okay, for a non-ionic coordination complex or neutral complexes, so they are named as a single word. Okay, so here we have to note down that in any ionic coordination complexes, the cation should be named first. So the cation is named first, then the anion. Okay, for non-ionic coordination complex or neutral complexes, so they are named in a single word. Okay, so next let us see some other IUPAC rules. So here you can see the some other rules. So the second one, naming the coordination sphere. Okay, so for naming the coordination sphere, so the ligands are named first and then the central metal ion. So then how the names of the ligands are obtained? So the names of negative ligands end with O. Okay, so positive ligands end with IUM and the neutral ligands as it is. That means there is no change in the names of the neutral ligand. So for example, if you observe here, so Cl minus. So Cl minus is a negative ligand. So therefore its name should end with O. So that's why its name is chloro. So F minus. So it's a negative ion, negative ligand. So therefore its name should end with O. That's why it is fluoro. Okay. So if you consider the examples here, in this example, so this is also a ligand, acetyl acetato natto. Okay, so this is the negative ligand, so therefore its name ends with O. Okay. So next let us see some of the positive ligands. So NO plus, so it's a positive ligand, so therefore its name should end with IUM. So therefore the name of NO plus is nitrosonium. So this is positive ligand, NH3 plus, hydrazinium. So nitronium, NO2 plus. So therefore, according to the IUPAC rule, while naming the ligands, so the negative ligand, the name of the negative ligand should end with O. The name of the negative ligand should end with O, and the names of the positive ligand should end with IUM. And the neutral ligands are written as it is. So here you have some of the neutral ligands. So NH3 amine, so it's a neutral ligand, there is no electrical charge on the ligand, so therefore it is a neutral ligand. So according to the IUPAC rule, so the neutral ligand should be named as it is, so there is no change in their names. NH3 amine, carbonyl, dioxygen, pyridine, okay, H2O, aqua, NO nitrosyl, N2 dinitrogen. So next rule, let us see the next rule, that is number 4, order of naming the ligands. So this rule we have to follow when there is more than one kind of ligands. So when the coordination compound contains more than one type of ligands, so then we have to follow this rule. So if more than one kind of ligands are present, so then the ligands are named according to the alphabetical order. So next one, so the numerical prefixes to indicate the number of ligands. Okay, so this rule we have to follow when the complex contains more than one time the ligand is repeated, same kind of the ligand is repeated more than one time, so then that ligand should be prefixed, the name of the, before writing the name of the ligand, so the name of the ligand should be prefixed with the number of ligand, so that is di. If the same ligand is present repeated twice, so then it is named di or tetra, etc. Okay. So if the ligand is already abbreviated system, or it contains the affixes di, tri, tetra, etc. So the prefixes like bis, tris, tetrakis, etc. are written as the prefixes to the name. Okay. So now the ending the names of the coordination complexes. So for anionic complexes, so the name of the central metal atom should end with ATE. That is for anionic complex. The name of the anionic complexes should end with ATE. For cationic and neutral complexes, the name of the central metal without any characteristic end. Okay. So for example, see here Ag. Okay. So the name of this complex should end as argentate. This ATE indicates, so this forms an anionic complex. So aluminate, cobaltate. So ATE, if the complex name end with ATE means that is an anionic complex. Okay. So next further indicating the oxidation state of the central metal ion. So the oxidation state of the metal ion is designated by a Roman numeral, okay, in the parenthesis after the name of the metal. Okay. So next one, the last rule is the bridging ligands. So the ligands which act as bridges between the two metal atoms, the Greek letter mu is written before their names. The prefix mu is repeated before the name of each kind of the bridging ligand. So let us see some of the examples of IUPAC names of some of the complex compounds here. The first one, K4FeCN6. Okay. So K4FeCN6 means this is potassium, K plus. So therefore this coordination sphere will carry negative charge. Okay. So for negative complexes, anionic complexes, so the name of the cation should be written first. So that means the cation here is the K plus. So therefore potassium, okay, hexacyanoferrate. So this is an anionic complexes. So therefore the name of the complex should end with ATE. Okay, ATE. So the name of the ligands. So there are 6 cyanide ligands. So therefore hexa, the name of the ligands, Cn minus. So this is an anionic ligand, negative ligand. So therefore its name should end with O, cyano. Okay, hexacyanoferrate. So this is an anionic complexes. Therefore first we are writing the name of the cation. So K4, K plus, K plus. Therefore potassium hexacyanoferrate. So here in the parentheses we had written the oxidation state of the iron. So in this potassium ferrocyanide, that is potassium hexacyanoferrate complex. So the iron is in the +2 oxidation state. So next example, potassium ferricyanide. Okay, K3FeCN6. So this is also an anionic complex. So therefore the name of this complex should start with the cation. So the cation is K plus. Therefore potassium hexacyanoferrate. But here the oxidation state of iron is 3. Okay. So similarly in this complex, so this is SO42 minus. SO42 minus means this coordination sphere will carry positive charge. So therefore for cationic complexes, okay, so first we have to write the name of this coordination sphere. So that means hexaamine cobalt chloride. So hexaamine cobalt chloride. Okay. So the oxidation number of cobalt is +3. So similarly in this example, so this is Cl minus. So this is Cl means this coordination sphere will carry a positive charge. So therefore, the first we have to write the coordination sphere. First we have to name the constituents of the coordination sphere. So this is pentaamine. So here there are two types of ligands. One is the amine ligand, another one is chloroligand. So there are more than one type of ligands are present in the coordination sphere. So the ligand should be arranged according to the alphabetical order. So this is amine, this is chloro. So therefore this ligand should be written first. So amine ligands five amine ligands are present. So therefore pentaamine chloro cobalt chloride. Okay, so let us take the next example. So here sodium is present. Sodium is a cation. So if sodium carries positive charge means, so this coordination sphere will have negative charge. Okay, so now we have to name the cation. So that is sodium hexanitrito. So here we are written N, because a nitrito ligand is an ambidentate ligand. So if you are writing N here, N means, so this in this nitrito ligand, so we have two donor atoms. One is the nitrogen and another one is the oxygen. So in this case, the nitrogen will donate the electron pairs to the cobalt. So therefore, sodium hexanitrito N cobaltate. Okay, this is a negative complex. So therefore, the name of the metal ion should end with 8, cobaltate. Okay. So if you take the examples of some neutral ligands. Okay, so here FeCO5. So this is pentacarbonyl iron. Pentacarbonyl iron 0. So that means the oxidation state of iron is 0. Okay, so let us take some other examples. IUPAC nomenclature. So here, so we have some bridging compounds as examples. So mu, that means there is a bridging between these two metal atoms, these two cobalt atoms, there is a bridging. Okay, so the bridging should be indicated by the mu. So this is mu. Okay, so mu amido, mu hydroxo octaamine. So because here 4 amine group, here 4 amine groups, therefore totally 8 amine groups are present. So therefore octaamine, okay, dicobalt, two cobalt atoms are present, dicobalt ion. So because it carries charge, so therefore this is a complex ion. So therefore ion. Okay, so similarly in this example also you can observe that, okay, so there is a bridging between these two cobalt atoms. So there are two bridging atoms, one is amine and another one is dioxygen. Okay, so mu amido, mu peroxo octa amine cobalt ion. Okay, so this is how the IUPAC name of the coordination compounds are obtained.